Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the JoeIrish podcast with Sherin Hughes. We are at episode 10, and then who was our guest today, Sherin?
The amazing Coach Ken from the Cherry Orchard Running Club, doing powerful stuff in the community, and we're just absolutely buzzing to have this chat with you.
Yes, thank you, Ken, for coming in. Thank you.
Thanks.
And
great introduction. Thanks very much.
And we have Carl, obviously, main producer over here, so it's great. Ken, thanks very much. I've been trying to get Ken on from ages ago, and it's just you're super busy, and I get it because every time you're like, oh, I'm on a mountain, I'm in it,
I'm in the sea.
Every time I'm on the phone to him, because we met briefly only just over a year ago, didn't we?
That's right.
Real quick, and we just became friends straight away. I think it's good when you have people that's already connection with you. But like we met with you, and then we got closer over time, and we've been in the same circles, and we've partnered.
Exactly. We're in a group, WhatsApp group, and all
WhatsApp group we're on. But every time we're trying to get you, you're on a fucking bike or a kayak or a mountain or a dance floor.
I seen you on the dance floor. I did see that.
That was fucking great, wasn't it, Joe?
That was mad.
Where was that again?
Brilliant.
Croatia, was
It was
it?
in Croatia, yeah.
What were you doing? Or were you just on holiday?
I was dancing.
You've been there a few times, have you? Croatia.
Yeah, we've
defected in Croatia. We went there, by the way, and me and Sarah got invited with your crew, which we are delighted to be part of, and what an amazing crew. But so you've been a few times, have you?
Yeah, about 5 or 6 times I think it was, and we missed 1 year.
Yeah.
But we love it. It's just I don't because it's so busy with the club and everything else and the business that I'm doing. I get August is kind of the month off nearly.
Yeah,
and went there a couple of years ago and just fell in love with it.
Savage.
Just the love and the people, and there's an older crowd. There's no messy kids.
No madness.
Yeah,
loved it.
Someone else I met only a while ago as well at a gig that was at, and then we were at that one of them daytime rave things in the open room Saturday. And the young man was like, oh, you know Ken? And I was like, yeah. He goes, he was at the fucking Croatia with you. And he was like, I was there with him. And the way he explained it, he goes, he loved it because he's like that one. You know, when you're at a rave and you love all them, the festivals and all. He said he'd been there a few times. He said, it hasn't got a patch. I beat that hasn't got a patch on it. Yeah, he beat that has the names and the clubs and all. He goes, because of the no madness, it is good crack. It's just everyone's in great form. It's such a good, absolutely belter of a festival. And before we go over there,
so it's an actual festival. You were invited with his crew as in the running club, or just a
No,
different?
just my friends crew.
Deadly.
Yeah.
just all these headbangers and Ballyfermot.
Will you invite me next year?
Not a bother. It's the last year.
It's last year.
Oh, it was last year.
No, this one coming. Yeah.
Next year, sorry,
Next
2026
year.
is the last year.
Yeah.
And then it's going to a new location, I think.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So, but when you went over ahead of the rest, you went over Angie, didn't you? So we had
a couple of days before.
A few days before. And I remember the posts were coming in on the WhatsApp group, bing, 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 and he's like that. And you know, like you can see the coach can eats well. He's up in the morning, he's watching sunrise and sunsets and all that. And what you going, yeah, I love it, right? But then he was eating this massive he was stuffing his face, which I never in the group. Am I allowed to say this?
Yeah, go for it.
People are going, fuck you, Ken. I'm eating rice and whatever it is. But you was packing up, and in your little video you put in the WhatsApp group, you're like, I'm getting the carbs, get the carbs in.
5 days of dancing
5
coming
days
up.
of dancing, and I want to have, and then you were like, and I was like, yes, because you mentioned, you were like, in the group, you're like, 5 days of dancing, it goes, and I want to have a dance off with Joe.
Yeah, that's right, I did.
And then you did, because that's what I seen.
We had a dance off, yes. It was the highlight for me.
Brilliant, it was.
Of that little thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We didn't even know.
Deadly.
There was like dance lessons on, wasn't it?
No, we weren't. That was the first time I've done it over there. Yeah.
Right.
I think I'm a good dancer up on Glen Street. Well, yeah, man over there was brilliant, and he was a great teacher as well.
Rapper.
And I always remember recording the thing, I'm going to practice that like
Yeah,
a home.
never did it.
I'll be back there next year trying to get it again.
We could do the moves. We were doing the moves then the whole weekend or the whole rest of the week. It was 5 days house festival.
It was brilliant.
5
The laugh
days.
we had was unreal,
Yeah, it was
wasn't it?
brilliant.
The dance classes were great.
With that, being into that festival kind of situation, which I am myself, love a gig, love a festival. Was that something prior to your running that you would have done a lot? Festivals, gigs, that kind of house. Let's talk about
a dark time in my life, love.
Before we go into the running, tell me about your life before running, before Coach Ken.
Yeah, right. So I grew up. I was born in James Street. Grew up in Bluebell. We were 2 or 3 moved out. My dad was an alcoholic. Ma, real hard grafter, looking after 4 kids. Right, but we moved up to Bluebell when we were young. We were there for 5 or 6 years. And I think that was the first time I was ever involved in crime, as they say. I was, remember, there was a sweet factory in Bluebell, Richie Mills, and we were too young, like, to obviously go in and rob the place, but we used to wait outside with all the lads from Crumlin and all, used to be robbing it.
Yeah.
And they'd be coming out with boxes of gear, you know what I mean? They used to let us, we'd grab them, run off, hide them, and then we get a box of sweets off the lads for doing it. But,
deadly. I mean, don't do crime.
No, but we like to talk about it.
Yeah. And that was where I became a real fat kid. We eat loads of sweets.
Were you chubby?
I'll never forget it. I was chubby up till like 12, 13. I was a little oompa loompa. We lived in Bluebell for a good few years. Like, my dad was obviously an alcoholic, as I said there, and I always remember, you know, like the negative sides of alcoholism, you know what I mean? Arguing with my ma fucking him out with a gaff. Yeah. And now, he was never violent to her, from what I can remember. I don't think he was, but I always remember him banging on the door for him and, let me, she was like, fuck off, you're not coming in or whatever. Yeah, so, and even through the years, I always went back to, I'd done a lot of work on myself regards trauma and stuff like that. And that is a type of trauma, you know what I mean? An alcoholic, someone at the door banging and all. But, so, moving up there, we moved up to Ballier. We would have been 7 or 8, and thank God my dad got off the gargle. He was he was 3 years in recovery, and they were the best years of our life, because I always remember the negative side of him. Yeah. And then for him to come through in recovery, bringing us to Manchester, you know what I mean?
Oh, lovely.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut across here, but that's the first time we've heard anything like that, of that far, and I don't try to show your age now, that far back, because like, there was members, he went into recovery, because it wouldn't be something that I would, because
was it like an AA?
Loads of men around the areas, or they all, even they couldn't even say they were alcoholics, but they were in the pub every day, after work every day, drank every day.
Back then it was like
they weren't alcoholics, exactly.
They're not alcoholics, he likes a few drinks.
So it wouldn't be a thing of going, I have to give it up again. So that's the first time I've ever heard. So I did. Yeah. Actually, and it wasn't that an AA back then even, wasn't it?
No, there was.
No,
it was AA.
Yeah, well, I don't know, just now.
I'll tell you a little story as we go on as well around that, but so he would have, if I'm not mistaken, he might have gave the drink before we moved to Ballier, or it was when we moved to Ballier, but we got the house in Ballier, and Ballyfermot back then, Cherry Orchard was like the countryside. It was like, there was only fields between Ballier and Tala. It was just fields. I always remember it. Yeah. So that was like the new build, Dublin City, the new fucking thing, everyone was all there.
Adamstown now.
Listen, every fucking, I don't know what way to say this, but every bit of bleeding.
Yeah.
Well,
it was
like as if from every area where there was, say, you know, like negative, deprived area, right? So they were all put into Cherry Orchard, and it was fucking great. Don't get me wrong, new house. We lived in flats for years.
Loads of them knew each other as well from previously, because Dublin was quite small, in fairness. Casino capital, like, it was quite small. Definitely.
And we got the new house, and I always remember my ma asking them, can we have a house with a smaller garden? She said, how the fuck are we going to look out? And it wasn't even huge, it was just a big long garden. You know what I mean? But we moved up there, and my dad done the walls out the back, and it was a lovely fucking time in our lives, because he was off the drink. And like I said, before that was always, if he brought us out on a Sunday, because when he was kicked out of the gaff, we'd still see him on a Sunday. Right. We'd end up in the Amber in James Street, the pub. You'd be eating peanuts, and he's throwing darts and drinking pints. And but that was one of his passions. He loved darts as well. I think he played out at Bristow. He's a famous dart player back in the day.
Yeah, nice.
So we moved up to Cherry Orchard. 3 years off the gargle, and the unfortunate fucker had a heart attack. He had a mild heart attack. If I'm not, it might have been. See, I'm a bit nobody had dates. No,
it's
thinking back.
Hard to remember,
but I know we had a mild heart attack, and he got out of hospital. And then it was a couple of months after that, he had a massive heart attack, and he died. And so I was probably 7 or 8. I'm bleeding shit at maths, by the way. But anyway, doing the maths on it, I was about 7 or 8. Brother, and there was 3 boys and a girl, a little bit.
Yeah, ma was the raised.
So she had a young baby girl and the 3 lads. So from there, I think it was the kind of, you know yourself, if there's no father figure in the gaff. Like, I ended up like involved in crime and everything else growing up through the years, and I know if he'd have been around, that would not have happened. He'd have battered us, you know what I mean? He was strict enough now. Now don't get me wrong, he was a bit of a stroke with himself in his day, you know what I mean? But anyway, we moved up to Cherry Orchard. He was at the passing away. The 3 of us then were still in school in Inchicore. So my ma was out, I think she had 2 or 3 jobs at the time, if I'm not mistaken.
Madness,
The
isn't it? way
neighbour
you just get
say,
by, yeah.
my nanny would be minding my little sister, and then the 3 of us used to walk to school and back from school. So fast forward a couple of years, like as the years went on, my ma was fairly strict to us, but I always remember we were bleeding. You're trying to make a few bob. I remember going with my mate Jeff Hendricks. Right, Jeff's fucking a diamond. I was his best man at his wedding. We used to always go to town. His ma was a dealer. and they were
Not
the
the
prams.
dealers.
On the
Nowadays,
market.
dealers, a dealer.
No, a dealer, an original
just
dealer.
forget that, yeah, proper dealers.
But his ma was
My nanny was a
a
dealer.
trader. Would I
Yeah,
call her a
trader,
trader?
yeah,
That's probably a
trader,
better word.
dealer.
But they used to call themselves dealers.
no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wheeling deals.
Yes,
The wheeling
exactly.
deals.
So they used to have the big silver cross bleeding prams.
Yeah,
That's
big-
right,
You know,
yeah.
with all the gear on it.
Brilliant.
She used to sell flowers in town. So I used to always know, Jeff always was, because he was living in town, the shoplifters in town were bleeding always on it, you know what I mean? And then you in the
Yeah.
flats in town had lovely gear.
Yeah.
Right, bleeding, fucking holes in their shoes are
Yeah.
bleeding, pennies bleeding,
Yeah.
sizzlers on.
Nuts, the money they made it from them there.
Yeah, so I remember panning around with Jeff, and we used to go into town. I'd always end up getting a bleeding nice t-shirt or something. I used to love it. But coming from poverty, like that's all you ever
That's
wanted.
all you wanted, yeah.
Because as a kid, and
You're
I
getting
always,
the hand-me-downs
I always
all the
remember
time. And
the ones that had it, you know, really slag your teenagers a little.
yeah,
bastards.
yes,
yeah.
yeah.
So the
Yeah.
slaggings and all, and I always remember thinking, I'd just love to have a nice set of clothes, you know what I mean, and so
Yeah,
on.
of course, yeah.
And God bless her, Biddy Hendricks, she was the one doing the flowers. At the end of the weekend, when they were going home, 9 o'clock, they used to give us the flowers that were left over.
To sell
And me and Jeff would be bleeding out selling them in
Okay.
town that night.
Yeah, yeah.
We were only 12, 13. And then we used to get, I think it was a second, we used to get a flag in there over the money. We used to get the 2 litres. And we used to go to a place just at the back of fucking the Peace Gardens there in is it Parnham Street, am I right?
I'm not sure.
I can't think. I think it was called the Tard. No nightclub.
Yeah.
I could never get into the place, and then I ended up getting in one night. But we used to be bleeding locked to fucking drink our flag, and he'd go in, and but I remember going back to the flowers thing with Jeff. Jeff was he's a fucker. He was for messing,
Yeah.
and then we'd be going around all the pubs in town,
Yeah.
selling the flowers to
Yeah.
people, blah blah blah. So we get on to Georgia Street, wouldn't we? Yeah. Jeff cute as a fucking toy. He'd say, "Ken, I'm going in here. You pop in there." You know what I mean? Sending me into the George with a bunch of flowers, right? A bunch of roses.
Is the George around that long?
Yeah, if it wasn't the George, it was the gay bar that
was
was
the
on
gay
that
bar,
street.
yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, there was a couple of them. If I
Yeah.
can think back right, so that would have
Jesus.
been what.
They must have passed you around like a joint in
40
there,
odd
didn't they?
years.
Listen, this the thing here. Jeff used to say, he used to say to you, come in, and I remember walking there, they'd be buying roses and hand them back. That's what you said.
Yeah, a little kiss.
Fucking me, you fucking pure immature at the time, but Jeff then after a while say, I'm not going in, you fucking you bollocks, Jeff, you know what I mean? You're
Room every weekend.
Jeff would say, well, Ken, you always buy flowers off, you get in there, you know what I mean?
You couldn't turn it down a few
It
quid.
was fucking gas. They were great times. But like I said, it was me just trying to get a few quid, you know what I mean? Poverty is a horrible thing.
Yeah.
And it's a country you're in school, like, because I do remember it fucking as clear as day. Having we used to get stuff out of fucking, what's the second-hand shops, the St. John's, but whatever, I can't think of the name of them. But we'd have holes in our shoes going to school, and if it rained, your bleed socks were getting soaked.
Soaking.
Right? And you know, there used to be killings over in the gaff when we were kids. The cornflake box, because we used
Will
to
you put it in the sole of the
put
shoes?
it in the sole of the
Yeah.
shoes
Yeah.
to stop the
Yeah.
cold going up
Yeah.
your feet.
I thought
Yeah.
it was fucking poor.
Here, I'm telling you.
I thought it was pure.
Yeah,
The
my young
fucking
one.
pumps and all that, like
No
walking
way.
around in
Yeah,
pumps.
my young one, Courtney, always slags me. We had it rough, and now she's a little
Yeah,
fucker. She's
yeah.
very
Go to
weak.
school in the snow and no shoes.
Yeah,
and
you know
all
all
that.
this.
Yeah.
But going back to Ballia, so yeah, we were in Ballyfermot, and then obviously you're from Cherry Orchard. There's a lot of people acting the bollocks. They're all trying to make ends meet, and I ended up getting involved in the drugs industry, selling little £5 in the drugs industry. I made it sound like it.
You made that sound appealing. It's an industry, right? And if you get into it, you won't be poor anymore.
Where that came from.
Pharmaceutical. Look at this picture of him in the gap with his long white.
I remember that one.
Yeah, with his long white coat and all, you know what I mean? And the pens and all,
And
and the
his little
pocket,
bag.
the drugs industry. You were the dealer.
God, the dealer, yeah. He used to be selling £5 deals on the
I know, sorry. You're trying your best to make it sound not fucking bad.
No,
Just say it as it
just
is.
say it,
You were
yeah.
selling
You're
drugs.
a
You were
drug
involved in
dealer.
selling drugs.
Exactly. Right, so we are selling.
in the fucking the switch around.
Trying to maneuver. But yeah, we started selling drugs, £5 hits, right?
The big long ones.
Yeah,
Ash.
on the stick, yeah.
So you used to buy
skins.
them, did you?
No, I don't know. I'm just I read it somewhere.
That's what they used to do.
Yeah.
And,
Dealer, punter.
Yeah. But so we used to. I always remember when I made a few quid going into town and being able to afford a pair of Air Max. That was like bleeding.
Yeah, lit.
And a tracksuit. But we couldn't come home with the clothes on. If my ma seen us, she'd bait us around, right? So we'd leave the gaff, it'd be Saturday morning, whatever, and we'd walk out in our bleeding rags.
The cardboard box.
We used to go out the back, didn't we? And we used to have a shed out the back garden. So we'd have our clothes wrapped in black bags under the shed.
And good clothes.
Yeah, so we used to walk out the back garden, out around the side, off with the old clothes, jump the back wall, and over to Jeff's gaff, and then from there. But that was it. Look, we hadn't got a pot to piss in. We wanted to bleed and look good.
Yeah.
Being a teenager and other teenagers, and you're growing as a man.
Yeah.
And like, you know what I mean? It's very like what's the word I'm looking for?
And
Degrading.
Yeah.
When you're like,
And
not
it's still
dirty,
the same today.
100%.
So
and
did
the
you not?
stick.
Had you not got? I know it's you're saying like because you could say it all the time, but did you get it? Did you get a job? And like, did you got a little job when you were a teenager, leaving school or that? And I was straight out of school and then dealing drugs. Like
I went from primary school in the Oblats in Inchicore. We went up to Ballier, and I only think got into second year, and then as soon as I hit 15.
gone.
It was gone ski. I get a job. You know what I mean? I get a job. I think I had working for a fruit van fella down around
Everyone
selling
did that. It
fruit.
was great. Wasn't that around
That on the newspaper around,
But you know what? I always remember not wanting my ma to know because I knew she was at the doing so good and she was grafting and she had a little pride there, you know. So the three of us now were getting into trouble constantly, but I always remember.
I was in the middle. You were in the middle, so you one older,
one younger, and then the little sister. Yeah. So I always remember saying to myself, I'm getting a job. Now I did. I used to have jobs as well, but I'd be still hustling on the side. You know what I mean?
Did that ever get bigger for you? Did it ever from the drugs to bigger? Did you?
Oh yeah, it went. It spiraled. It did because I started getting involved in gangs up in Gallenstown, and then we were just talking about the rave scene in the 90s. We were introduced to ecstasy, and at the time there was none around. So these Nordies were coming down with them into the nightclubs. So we started finding out about. We started learning how to get them, and we started selling them in the club in town. It was sides at the start, but then we moved over to the asylum. Yeah, mad kid.
Yeah, I was in the asylum. Right. With some boys
but basically we basically like a drug gang. You know what I mean?
We probably all crossed paths in the clubs back then and there because you know what I mean. I was only young. Then when you were probably in the same years.
God, I'm way younger than Ken.
We won't talk about
He's on that side, right?
Yeah, so you were banging, and then you were obviously then dealing the fucking banging out A's.
Banging out A's in the clubs.
Man about the town then, once the dealer heading you.
That's
and then you had 3 boys as well.
Yeah.
It's hard to have, isn't it, like when you...
So getting involved at that in the city centre, and then there was other gangs in there trying to come onto your turf and all that stuff. So there was loads of stuff.
So you were in the thick of it.
Yeah, there was a group of townies. I won't say the name of them because it was like a family.
Yeah.
And I remember them coming into the asylum, and he bet up one of our mates outside and says, "Don't be coming out and buy there into the club, blah blah blah." So the following week we were waiting for them to come, and all hell broke loose. We ended up winning. So it was we ended up because it was the asylum was crazy. It was a mad shop. The bleeding, the doormen were all on the field, so we were able to pay them off. We and it was like downstairs was where Carl Cox actually played.
That's right.
Never forget it. But it did spoil out of control. We were up in Ballier, we were involved in all sorts. We were falling out with other gangs. There was bleeding,
causing beef all over the place as well.
Yeah, because you don't want to look like it, when it comes to that. You want to be the head of the game.
Of course.
And for us, it was like you had to fucking stand up for yourself, or the law just come on top of you.
Fucking hell.
So, but by then, I was actually experimenting with the drugs. Obviously, you know what I mean, leading up to it. But I started experimenting with fucking harder drugs then.
Yeah.
So it wasn't...
Is that not a thing? Some of them was going to cut across you because I know from a lot of lads that were the little few years older than me, when they were doing the years, because they were so worried, they were doing heroin then to take them off, and there's so many.
And I was never in the asylum, but I actually heard downstairs in the asylum in the gag room or something like that.
The third floor that was.
Third.
Yeah, you were on the wrong floor.
They be doing heroin.
I wasn't.
Like downstairs where the DJs were. The second floor was where the entrance was, so it was like all the public would be there. Yeah. But the top floor was like
they were doing shit up there, I heard that.
Tinfoil out. everything.
Yeah,
So there was
that,
a time where
It's nuts,
it
isn't
got that bad that when the fighting was going on, so they had weapons and all upstairs.
They just packed off down
Yeah,
there when they give a
waiting for
fuck.
something to happen. So a mate of mine, he's dead now. Lord rest him. He actually shot a fella in there.
Jeez,
He had a pen going to one of these little yokes. The army men used to bring them back from the Leb.
Fucking hell.
You know, from Lebanon.
Yeah.
They were selling them to the lads at
Really?
home. So
Yeah.
anyway, but yeah, shot a fella in the chest. Didn't die now. Thank God. But that's how I got strung out.
That's
the
nuts.
come down on the...
Was the come down off the...
come
Is
down,
that how
yeah,
you got
like we were
strung
told,
out?
oh, it's amazing, it's this.
Yeah.
And I always remember
And
thinking...
you don't see anyone ahead of you the years, because I would have seen guys strung out and going, oh my God, look at that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like that.
Same.
And then I wouldn't have never went near, or
Yeah.
then I'm not going near that. Like it would have been...
So you didn't see where that heroin was going to lead you to?
No,
You didn't see people ahead of you doing
No,
that,
and
yeah.
even at the time of the 80s, the pandemic of heroin, you know what I mean? We all
And
know
that was
about
it. That was an addictive
But
fucking
for
heroin
us, it wasn't
poison.
like you were a junkie. Like, they were all junkies. We're not.
Yeah.
We're just coming down off our ears. So it was that fucking stupid
Right,
bleed mentality.
Yeah.
And
How quick did that spiral for you into heroin addiction? Like into just full-blown heroin
I
addiction?
was messing around with drugs from the age of about 12 or 13. Then it obviously we're hashing all the lighter drugs. And then I always remember having my first hit. It was in the Lawns Park at about, I would have been probably in around 13, 14.
First hit of heroin.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And I do when I done a podcast before, and I always remember thinking I have to fucking ask my mates a few questions about what age were we this.
Yeah.
Because
Was there a few of you, Ken, that
Yeah.
would have got
yeah,
into
there
heroin,
was a
like-
little core all at my age. There we would have been about 5 or 6 mates, real cool mates, but we all thought if we only do it once a week, you're all right.
And you just all did it.
You know what I mean. So you're okay doing it once. Now this was so we had experience of it, say back at the after parties.
Yeah.
But that was it. You'd go home and you wouldn't go near it for the week or whatever.
Then, yeah.
But then we would remember midweek you'd say, oh, I'm gonna have a little hit and see. You know, but if we don't smoke it, if we don't smoke it more than once a week, you're all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Someone said to me, once you smoke it 2 or 3 times, you're going, so it'd be grand once a week, it'd be all right.
Yeah.
Say 15, I was a fully blown heroin addict.
So, you know,
what I mean?
coming,
Within
into
a year of
heroin,
that.
coming into heroin addiction, I know with different addictions, cocaine, heroin and stuff like that, heroin leaves a severe illness within you, as in you have to, does it become that I'm an addict now because I have to smoke heroin to get rid of this pain, or is it the actual, because I know with cocaine then, it can be just like, I just need a hit and I just...
an urge or I think...
With heroin, it's a fucking illness.
It's like
I've seen
it's
it.
like you're physically sick, and in order for you to get through that
You
day,
need to get heroin.
you need to have your medicine or
That's
whatever.
nuts, isn't it?
Yeah.
You
You know what I mean?
don't see, you'd see the lads strung out and that. You'd know my experience, not my experience, but my when it would have been not an experience, but I knew the lads were strung out and heroin around it, and it was like we weren't talking about your jobs working with the veg fella or the milkman or whatever smaller jobs. These guys were collecting cash constantly at your door. There was everyone knocking at your door all the time. Newspaper, the amount of fellas I seen getting robbed, getting dragged around, and we were only bleeding teenagers. See a fella coming in, whatever it is, provident, a load of money, and he was getting 20, 20, and you'd see the fella around the corner, and they fucking drag him around and kick him up and down the street to get his money. They wouldn't give him out, and you're like, oh my God, look at this, we fucking, and that was a horrible thing to say, but it's the, and I know fellas that had got off it as well, and loads of people had come through on the far side, and some didn't and died, as we all know, because we grew up in them areas. But that was my looking at going, fucking hell. But like, I'm sure it's the drug that drives you that, and like everyone knows, I'm sure.
Did it last long for you, your heroin addiction?
Yeah, 15 years.
15 years on heroin.
Yeah, I was 15. I remember full blown heroin addict at 15 years of age. But I was hiding it well. I never used to go to gaffs and smoke, and I used to put it into joints.
Oh, really?
Because I was selling that. That's where it spoiled from selling hash to that, and then so I'd be putting it into joints, and then so I used to hide it well. I always looked great.
Yeah,
I was training back then.
Yeah.
It was
So you're
mad.
mad or nothing new?
Yeah.
No,
Not for
none
a
of them
while.
know. I'm sure, hey, do you know what? I think deep down they know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not the same character when you're on drugs to when you're sober.
Yeah, exactly. It changed your
So
fucking...
I used to always look well. I always went to gym, but I was still fucking a heroin addict. I used to wake up in the morning. I used to wake up in the morning, I'd look in the mirror and I'd call myself a junkie. I used to think, you're a fucking junkie.
Yeah.
Looking on, not the way you look at yourself.
You go...
And I always fucking, I kind of, obviously it's so hard to give it up, but I always knew that I'd give, someday I'd give it up, right? But went on for years, and I ended up getting, I ended up getting locked up as well at a time because Cherry Orchard, and there was a lot of gangs in the area, and we got associated with with a certain gang, and they were robbing the country blind, doing banks and jewellers, and they were hopping everything over.
Yeah.
And we were kind of supplying the cars for them at the time.
yeah.
We were robbing the cars and giving it to them.
And good drivers. If you were a rob capper, if you were a car thief, if you were a joyrider, you were a good driver.
I wasn't. I was the passenger all the time. I was good at robbing them, but I couldn't drive them. But I ended up because even though I was selling drugs, it was one of it. Look, it's a fucking scummy, nasty game to be in, right? And it's just a constant wanting to make it, and it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? I've seen the best of them, and for any, even if there is young that are acting the bollocks now that are watching it, none of them ever make it. I know for a fact. I know you probably get one in a lot that would make it, but it doesn't be worth it in the long term.
It's a mug's game.
But even making it, isn't it? If you're getting so deeply involved in doing that, you're always looking over your shoulder. There's always someone else. Someone else is wanting to take you down to get into yours, to sell your drugs, to get your spot, to take you out because and then you're crossing people constantly.
Dog,
and you have to be a bad cunt, not bad cunt. You have to be vicious. You have to be violent and all that. And then if you did you had someone's brothers after you, someone's cousin or someone's uncle.
It really does go by that saying, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Like,
and you have that clue.
And you know what?
Fucking always looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, do you know there's one thing that stood out to me as well, is the saying, there's no honour among thieves. You heard that back in the day, back in the fucking robbing days.
That's true.
I've seen it firsthand. People that think they're best of mates. The right hand man, he'll die for me.
Absolutely, you're right.
They'll shit on you. They will hang you. They'll shit on you. They'll get you shot. They'll fucking. And I don't give a fuck. It's a rotten fucking game to be in. Do you know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. I've nothing against anyone that does it.
No, of course. And we all know people that's doing all sorts
I'm
of
walking in an area where it's happening. I'm friends with all the lads. And I get on great with them all. And they know I'm pure, honest, I'm organic as fuck. Like, if I can be, it's best to the best that I can. But like, it's the nastiest game you could ever be in, and there's nothing good to come out of it. But going back real quick to the time, the boys were robbing the place blind, hitting robberies. I was struggling a little bit, still selling and all, but never making ends meet, just spending on drugs and everything. And they rang me one day. There's a bloke at the pulling out of a bleeding stroke. Do you want to come on again? Lovely. I was 18, 17 at the time. Said,
tell us.
I've been trying to make it for years. Here's me chance. Here's me promotion.
It's like being a made man of the mafia. Like, you're getting a step up into you're a step up now. They're looking at you as part of there. You're like, this is what you're.
These were all like in their 20s. These lads. I was 17.
Yeah.
And I never forget it. Yes, this is what I've been waiting for. You know, this stupid fucking.
Is it a real adrenaline to go and do that? Like, no fear, like just
the
gone.
chases we used to get to rob
My
cars,
nerves.
Man. We used to wait for the police to come up behind us.
Waiting for it.
Honestly, these lads, right? These boys could fucking make a car dance, right? And here. Oh, I'm joking aside. Like, these boys, and I'd be sitting there screaming, what you doing? Right, they're all right, they're grand, you're grand. And
they're waiting for them to come up
for the excitement,
for the buzz, and show we'll burn these culture card out. I don't mean it's culture card, but whatever. But that's what it would have been.
Back then, they wouldn't have helicopters. They wouldn't have had powerful cars. Now it's fucking it's on.
Full tilt.
Do you know what I mean? But back then it was like fucking Sierra Sapphires and bleeding Escorts, where we were robbing bleeding high-powered cars. So we knew like there's not a D-side catching us. You know what I mean? And what was the fucking one of the used to sit there.
For the show.
Sorry, getting back to the robbery. Yeah, I got called up, bleeding beep outside the gaff 7 in the morning, lovely, out the door into the back of the car. The car they had as well was like, they were not getting caught in this. It was a Celica. What did they call them? 4x4 fucking twin. There's a name for them. The lads are now. I jumped into it. Gone down the road. We ended up right. So someone lodging money into the bank in Clonskea, the AOE bank out there, and we're going to pull up certain way. When they get out of the car, boom, take the money, we're gone. I mean, lovely, great stuff. Sounds easy. Let's have it.
Snatch, money.
Goes out. These boys were all strung out to bits, and they were all fucking going, like, they had no money, so that's the way they were rolling. They were getting 20 grand and spending it. You know what I mean? And between, say, 5 and whatever was gone. But that morning, I always remember them all sweaty and all in the car, and I was saying, these cunts are all dying sick. You know what I mean? They're all going through cold.
They're sharp.
And so we get into the car, drove out. Going back, we were meant to do one. This is how nuts, how professional they were at that game. They nearly had a twin table of different places. So we went down to the one at just down Dolphins Barn. What's the name of the crossroads when you pass the stadium? There's a crossroads.
Yeah, I know
The
it.
Boxing
but
Stadium, there's the bleeding Pinhead's Pizza in the
Oh
corner.
yeah, Clanbrassil Street there,
Something
across
there.
of
Yeah,
Clanbrassil Street,
yeah.
just after the bridge there.
Went
yeah.
down, we were meant to pull in there, and there was a bank there, they were lodging money, but they got there late, so your man was gone.
Why?
Clonskey, 12 o'clock. They knew exactly where the drops were happening throughout it, so they were on it like proper. They were getting, the police were mad for them. They were on crime line, the crime call, everything. I think the police.
Feels like something out of general.
I think the lads were actually, they knew they were bollocks if they were caught. Do you know, the police knew they were working that gas. Yeah, and they had them on cameras like good. They were on the crime call, all the different ones. So they knew they were at the hitting a load of places.
Yeah, there was already every one of them had wardens on their heads. Probably.
Every one of them had. They didn't give a fuck. So we gets the Clonskey, bingo, your man gets out of the car, jumped out with a bleeding wheel brace or something letting on, it was a gun. You know what I mean? We got out, your man just dropped the money, grabbed it into the car, bingo. So instead of Clonskey is right on the edge of the Dublin Mountains and the city centre type of thing. So the goal was that they were to head up into the mountains and be gone out that way, but they were so sick and they were to go out with the drugs. They were heading back to Dolphins Barn, wherever they could buy the drugs.
After robbing the place, the car's going to be on top. They were like...
So we ends up going down, flies down, gets as far as the canal along fucking, I can't think of the name, but they're along Dolphins Barn, basically we're heading for the barn. And the police were picking up a chase, so they were on the radio. So they knew we were heading for the canal, so the police just blocked each end of the canals, blocked off the thing, let the traffic build up. So we're driving down next door with nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So we've up onto the path, flying up along the bleeding canal. And there's a little wall on the canal, lampposts. Yeah. We ended up in between two of them. Good dunk. No car not moving, stuck in, doors wouldn't open.
Fuck.
Smashed the windows. We got out through the window. And we looked down, one end, coppers running up the other end, coppers
from both
running
ends.
both ends.
And the canal on the side, yeah.
So where did we go?
And gaffs on this side, the canal's there.
Yes, there's only one way to go, into the water. So we played pails in, the lot of us. What's in the right up the next day in the paper anyway. Bails into the water, out the other side, gone. We're all right. We're at getting a good 10 minutes and couldn't hear any police, nothing like that. And I was sitting there, must have been about 20 minutes. Got over the back wall into a shed, big manky shed, pulled the mattress over myself, got down under it. But then obviously about 20 minutes, they knew we were in the area. Closed them in, searching everywhere. Gets to the shed I was in. But door comes in, mattress lift up, gun to me head, drags me out onto the deck, handcuffed, brought down into the car, and he goes, "Just don't be bastards." I said, "What do you mean?" Because we just followed your wet footprints, he says, all the way to the fucking back car. That's what they call it. You go, you wonder why you got caught. But
you was going out of what, soaking wet, and it was just this big wet footprints.
Fucking hands like that. Leaving the bleed piece of bread.
The driest day ever. There was just footprints on it, just straight into the shed.
We were baffled. How did they find us?
Fucking hell.
But I was in the back of the police car, and I was put in a police car with one of the other, with the driver, which was the oldest fella, and he was gone for 20 years, I'd say.
Right.
And he said, "Look, tell them," he says, "I threatened you. You owed me
right.
money." He said, "Tell them I threatened you to go on the robbery." Lovely. Goes to court. The judge didn't listen to any of it. Bang, 6 months in custody.
Right.
I blade nearly died. I was only 17. You know what I mean? Straight to Pats. In Pats, I remember crying me bleeding eyes out. I shut the fucking door. No fucking gangster when I got bleeding. With that bleeding door was slammed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as a 17-year-old, like, you're fucking, especially in Pats, was a ruthless fucking place. All the teenagers trying to better each other.
Yeah, from different areas all over the worst places in Dublin.
It was vicious in there, all joking aside. Yeah. But I was lucky that a lot of the lads from Balliol were in there.
They knew you were taking
me,
away.
you know, took me on my wing or whatever. But so about, I think I was in there for 2 months. January it would have been. I turned 18, bang on the door, cell.
Mountjoy prison.
I hadn't a clue what was going on. Come on, you're out here. What do you mean I'm out here?
That was from the fire to the fire pan to the fire, is it?
To be fair, it wasn't, Joe. You think that.
Yeah.
But when you're in the Joy, it's different. There's blokes in there doing big sentences and they just want to get that fucking time out of the way. Where in Pats, it's everyone.
I heard that as well before. Someone said Pats is quite a fucking
vicious, like you could see bleeding. But no, don't get me wrong, the Joy was a fucking kip as well. But it just, they're not as up in your face. You know what I mean? You're not waiting to get bleeding stabbed. You're not going around carrying blades with you in the prison. Well, they are, sorry, but it's just, you're not expecting it to happen as much. So in the Joy, I started bleeding. like I started getting stuff into the prison, started selling in there, but I got strung out bad in there.
Oh,
That's where I really fucking just spoiled out control from me.
I actually thought you were going to say that's where it changed.
No, it
No,
just
got
got
worse.
worse because you've more time in your hands and that. So it's like, well, fucking.
So got out with the joy, went to the court.
I was
6
months.
I was on remand, and the good thing about remand was I got a visit every day, so I was able to get the bits of parcels in and all. But
crime doesn't pay. Forget that.
Don't do it.
I can't say sponsored by Get a curry and listen to this episode.
But so got it when I went in. I was thinking, what the fuck, 6 months in custody, and then the solicitor said to me, sometimes that's a good thing. He said that he's just giving you a taste of prison. You know what I mean? See how you act in there, so on. But I always remember the blade dragged in. It was like every day was just fucking horrendous. So getting stoned in there was like a day out. Do you know what I mean? You just go to bed, wake up, breakfast, boom, back sleep, stoned. You know what I mean? You're just getting through your days.
Yeah.
Goes to court, and thank God when I went up, I had a few. There was a local priest in the area. Was at
a few people said, look, they're from his family is whatever, because you're a man, or was it for your family?
Yeah,
so they knew, what they call the local community, like the pillars of the community, were sort of fucking.
Yeah, so they gave me because they point like, although we were. I was a bleeding bollocks when I was younger, you know what I mean? I used to help neighbours, but one of them was a priest, and anyway, and he was a real high up, so he gave me a, what's it called, where you get a bleeding reference, character reference.
Yeah.
So he gave me one of them. Me boss as well, I think I was working for a painter at the time, and his police always down on the job, but I had loads of little jobs. It was mad because I always wanted to work.
He was always very chill.
Yeah, he was always really relaxed when he was doing
He
his
was
painting.
so nice. He barely talked, just done his work.
Yeah, and the thing was, I used to have the job for me ma's sake. I used to always remember her saying, you know, he's working, but in the evenings I was off hustling and doing all sorts of bollocks. But it was for her, I just wanted her to see that I had a job and I'm not doing that mad and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So gets to court. Blessed, fucking the judge said to me, how did you feel in there? I told him out straight, fucking hate every minute of it, blah, blah, blah. Got out, but didn't stop there, still back straight into crime, but just got a bit cleverer. I didn't get caught for a few years then. Strung out really bad, and I always remember starting to get depressed then. You know what I mean? That junkie that I was looking in the mirror at every morning was fucking eating me alive. And I just remember, I was strung out a bit, so I always remember saying to myself, is this it? Do you know what I mean? I never considered killing myself, but I always thought, if this is the way life is, man, I've another fucking 60, 70 years left of this.
Yeah. And at this point, did you have anyone in your life, like a partner, children, anything, like before your turnaround, did you meet someone like that you kind of felt that you leaned on, or someone that pulled you back? Yeah,
I had my beautiful daughter, Courtney, her mother, I was obviously, we were in a relationship from a very young age. So she's kind of stood by me for a long time, you know what I mean? Coming out of prison and everything else. And then I got to the stage when I got out, and it was still carried on right up till I was about 25. It was around 23, 24. I started getting rocky, you know what I mean? She just had enough, you know what I mean? But then, bang, the news she was pregnant, you know what I mean? But so we were already, like, things weren't going great, you know what I mean? Because... And it was probably just one of those relationships where you just stay in it because
you
met young. For kids, we met young.
Better the devil you know.
And so she got pregnant, and we fast forward 9 months. Went to the Coombe Hospital, got the phone call. She's having the baby. Come on up, you know what I mean? To the Coombe, gets to the Coombe Hospital, goes in. I'd say more than likely I was stoned. I've said that before. Fucking probably had to having a hit before I went in. Goes into the Coombe, sitting outside. Baby was born. And the nurse calls me in, and she said to me, open up your shirt. Had the Ben Shermans back then, you would have been wearing, you know what I mean? So she says, open up your shirt, and she brings the baby out to me, takes the blanket off her, puts the skin on skin, and it was just like, from the bottom of my feet to the top of my bleeding head, goosebumps. You know what I mean? And it was one of those moments where, now I got emotional a couple of times talking about it, but I'm not saying that many times, but it's a real special moment in my life. It was that, it was like, bang.
Considering that what your thoughts were before all this was going on, you're like, is this what it is? And it was just so new fucking meaning to life again, isn't it?
So this was like me holding her, and I always remember thinking, there's not a fucking chance I'm growing up with this child is growing up with an addict father. Because I always straight away thinking back to me dad, the negative side of alcoholism and addiction. And it was, I literally, I remember putting her down in the hospital, walked out the door, I said, that's it.
That was your turnaround, was it?
Done. Yeah.
Brilliant.
And I remember walking out of the fucking kiln. I don't even think I smoked after that. I think I actually, whatever I had, I fucked away, or I probably just didn't bring the whoever was, even though I was messing around. I remember going through where I had no money and I was just looking for drug money at the time, around that time. But I remember going to my mate and getting methadone off him. I says, give me methadone, I'm not going near the gear again. That's it, gone. I says, right, I'm going to go through a couple of days of the rattles or whatever. But little did I know, heroin is, methadone is just another form of
just
heroin.
as bad.
It's the same. It's probably worse because
it's easier access. Not easier access.
Do you reckon the come down is worse because it actually gets into your bones and everything? Where heroin is kind of you go through withdrawals of severity for 5 days, then it comes off you. Where with methadone, it's a bit more. It's embedded in you. If that's what way they say.
Did you go through the phase of having a sponsor, methadone, and all that, or did you just start buying the methadone?
Buying it, yeah. I just started buying it, and I was still acting the bollocks as well. You know what I mean? So, but I just remember that was my turning point. That was me not happening. Gets methadone. Now I thought I wouldn't have been on it for too long, but I'd say it was a good couple of years before I actually stopped. She was still a young baby. I was still on methadone.
So you were just saying methadone. That was your thing. Have a little.
Yeah, it was like well, the way I looked at it was
a cough bottle, is it?
Yeah, like medicine. Like the way I got it when I was getting up in the morning. Obviously, I wouldn't have had the severe or the withdrawals that heroin would be giving me. But it's still, you're waking up sweaty, you feel like, oh, jeez, I'm a bit fucking iffy. Have a little bleed and drop a medicine. So in my head, I was thinking, look, it's better than fucking. It's the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And did that continue for the years buying on the street, or did you ever go then and get the sponsor? Did you do that for years? Just
I think I remember we had a bleeding bogey doctor.
Right.
That we used to bleed and go up to, and he'd write you a script.
In Cherry Orchard.
No, it wasn't. It was in Lucan, believe it or not. But he was dodgy as fuck. Yeah. But we used to. That's where I was getting it from for a few years because I did buy it myself, and then I got him. He was writing scripts for us, going down to Inchicore to the chemist and getting it. And but then I remember the relationship crumbled. You know what I mean? She then. Courtney's mother decided she couldn't live because we were so close. We were bleeding madly in love. We were teenage sweethearts, whatever you call it. And she decided that she just couldn't live. Now, she couldn't live. The excuse was, I can't live around you, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to Australia.
Very difficult. Oh, really? She went to Australia?
This is the thing. She said to me, I'm going to Australia. And that ripped me heart out. That ripped me heart out. She goes over there, and thank God it didn't work out for her. Couple of weeks went by, she's too far from home, whatever. She rang me and I helped her get back. And for me, it was bleeding deadly. I loved it, but I never forget. I dropped her to the bleeding airport, didn't I, that day?
With Courtney.
With Courtney.
No.
Me and my brother were there, and I think obviously the drugs would numb your emotions a little bit. But I dropped her to the airport, and she left.
Yeah, doing great. That's amazing.
But
it's very.
I fucking broke down after that.
I'd say so, yeah.
I remember being in that car and I fucking just bleeding broke. But thank God, like I said, she came back and it was great. Had my baby back in my life, you know what I mean, and so on. And then I was living in my ma's at the time in the box room, and my mate walks in and looks at me. I was in the sitting room, and I remember I was just still fucking strung out on the fight. And he just said to me, he goes, yeah, all right. He was in recovery years. Georgie Bowes, loved him to bits. Bleeding saved me life, this man, you know. And so he looks in the sitting room at me, and I had me probably fucking, I was just sitting there looking depressed. Obviously, he said to me, you okay? I said, I just feel like giving up, Georgie. I said, I'm bleeding still strung out on the methadone, everything else. I don't want to go on. Now, I never actually thought of killing myself, but I was
just
that
not
down
wanting to be there.
It's a desperation. But you would know fucking. You would know saying it really. When the mother had decided she was leaving and she wasn't going to just go and try and make a better life for herself, and she wasn't going to leave the child with you, like, and it's like there was that helplessness of that losing that part
that's
of your
a
life.
rock bottom moment for you. That's it.
And
sink
and
or
that's
swim.
exactly what has to happen in an addict's life.
Everything, not you can control everything in life, but like to having no, it's
you feel helpless. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you feel helpless. It's so she. Where would we go? I lost my
So
train of
you
thought
were in
there.
the box. Yeah, mate came in.
Georgie said to me, how bad do you want to give her up? I said, I can't live. I can't go on like this. I said, I have to give her up. I said, I want to give her up. Right. He says, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take a week off work, come down to me gaff tomorrow morning. He says, and go through the rattles. The only way. He says, you're not going to get into treatment. You're still on methadone.
Stay in his gaff and that's it.
Come down to me gaff and we'll get you through it. So gets down to his, or the next morning he rings me. He says, take your methadone. He says, and come down to me. You know what I mean? Just take it. I got up the next morning and I looked in the mirror at the fucking junkie that I used to call myself and look in the mirror and I had my bottle of methadone. I just emptied it. Emptied down the sink.
It was definitely time for you.
It was the rock bottom. I was done. I was broken spiritually, mentally, physically, everything. I was just gone. And throwing it down the toilet, he rings me. He was mad because it was only a blade gone down the jacks and I put the bottle in the bin. And he was at the ring me, are you coming down? He's taking methadone. I didn't take it. He goes, I'll take it. He says, come down to me. I said, I'm at the fucking out. He goes, oi, the quicker you stop, the quicker it's over.
Yeah, so
the rattles.
Now, yeah, cool.
Goes down to his gaff. First day is okay. That night then, everything started to kick in. The pains, the sweats.
All that I heard it's hell.
It was fucking rotten. Not he was putting towels under me on the bed. You know what I mean? Or giving me towels for the sweat. You know what I mean? Every couple of, probably hour or two, I'd have to change them. And I remember bringing the bag down, my bag of gear down, and I had a box of Solvadine in the bag. Now, unknowns to me, there's codeine in them. So he was coming into the room to me, right, I'm not too bad, just the sweats and da-da-da-da. And then he comes in with it on the second day and he notices the bleed box of codeine, the tablet. He goes, what are you doing? I think they were empty, if I'm not mistaken. I was probably had to take most of the Solvadine. But he said, he says, that's kind of fucking, like, keep it going, you're drawing it out. Took them out me, but about 5-6 days of heavy fucking cold turkey. Wow. And then on the 6th day, I think it was, I started to remember feeling, I don't feel as bad as it was yesterday. 7th day, same again. Yeah, same again.
Lovely.
So, look, I'll fast forward. So, basically, I was in his gaff, going out, walking every morning, just trying to keep myself busy. I was that broken, by the way. I couldn't go out after 9 o'clock when people and traffic started coming out on the roads. Didn't want to be around anyone. Used to be down the Fino or down, hiding away. Like, you can't look at someone in the eye. The shame
is it like reality actually kicks in?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, what the?
It's like,
because you're talking 20 years of addiction, 15, 20 years of addiction.
And I always remember it was like waking up as a 15-year-old and I was 30. Do you know what I mean? And it was like waking up with that vulnerability of a 15-year-old
as a grown man,
and the shame that comes with being an addict. Us calling people junkies, but I was one. And the shame that's attached to being an addict is fucking crippling. You know what I mean? Like, and so that's where I start kind of tapping away with the fitness stuff. Start walking. I always remember a fella on my ma's road, Paddy. I always mention him because he was a bit of the inspiration for me running. I used to go on a bus going to the town with Jeff. Paddy would be leaving his gaff when we were walking by. How are you, Paddy? He'd be off running. We'd wait for a half an hour on the bus, go into town, and this fucker's jogging by us in town then. And I always remember thinking, I'd love to fucking know, how the fuck is he jogging for 3 hours? But going back to the time I got out with Georgie's gaff, and I'm not giving you a chance to talk here, am I?
No, because the podcast is about you, it's your story.
So I ends up starting to get into a little bit of running, picking a tree down the road. I'd say, right, let's go. And we jog to there. Jog to that back. And that's when I used to get a little bit of a buzz, or not buzz, like, that little bit of calmness from it. And then I used to feel a bit of confidence. And when I felt that, I was like, Jesus, I think this is the way forward. This is what's going to bring it back. Because I was in shop queues where I'd leave his gaff to go to shop, pick up a few bits in the spare, have my basket there. And I'd be standing in a queue. And I'd be that fucked up in my head that I used to think, your woman's at to stop serving all them. She wants to see me suffer. Right, this is how paranoid and how fucked up my head was. And then the sweat would be dribbling down my face, and I'd be sitting there all agitated in the queue. And I'd be looking at her saying, she knows I'm going through a little bit of it. Like, your mind's gone.
She knows.
I couldn't. Did I do something on her? But it's where your head's at.
Taking everything personal. Everything's personal to you. Everything that's going on is all on you.
Even down to, like you saying there, was it like the world's opening up? I remember colours even being like, wow, fucking, that's red dog.
It's mad, isn't it? Someone says it's the same when you give up
because
smoking,
you're oblivious. If you're in heroin, like, you're
even looking at a colour of a bleeding
colours or people or emotions or you've totally locked yourself in. You know, so when I think after 15 years, it's going to be a massive whoa. You know.
So when I again, I used to put the shopping down. I'd walk out the shop. That's how bad it was. And I'd probably I'd get him to bleed and go to shop Georgie or something.
Georgie.
Georgie.
Sorriest thing he's ever done is help you off that drugs. He was like that. Fucking, that's the last person I'm helping out on drugs. After I'm running to fucking, I'm his fucking SNA now. This is Georgie's life now.
He was fucking great.
So but that, like, so I don't know what. Like, you're gonna fitness fucking guru now. You are the fucking like like when I met you, I just want to, because my experience of meeting with you, I got booked to do the gigs with your Cherry Orchard joke.
That's
and
right.
I said it was mad because I said to Sarah, I've got this gig in Cherry Orchard, and it's in the community centre, Cherry Orchard. There's cans.
Bring your
She was
own.
like, yeah, let's go. And we went to Cherry Orchard and we did a gig, and I remember you bouncing off. I never met you. You just sitting between us, and you gave us a quick spiel of you very fucking. You were like, nah, it was me fucked up drugs and all that. And then I know I decided to run, and then and I was like, wow, this fucking.
This
I
is
was
the
like,
running club,
this
yeah.
dude like was
And
in
what
few
club?
minutes that you just explained what you had been through and everything else, and I could just tell in it, and then how fucking you were excited about it, and you're like, this is your little fucking this is your
You know,
you're the building this little fucking world around you, and all these people that are all look up to you, man, and kids. It's so inspiring to see all the time, and like I'm inspired by it, and I don't, but I can only imagine everyone else that's going, and it's great, fucking everything. And now you're off in Spain and all.
Walking
doing
in Spain, doing
he's
fitness
getting paid.
retreats.
Remember
Yeah.
when we rang him
holidays.
to do the podcast? I go in and he goes, nah, but he's
Gotta get a
imagine
gig.
Got a
saying
better
that.
offer.
I'm getting they're paying me to go to Spain to do all that. That's amazing.
So how did you get
Special.
paid to go to Spain?
There's a guy, Joe Doyle. He's a
Joe,
business
I know
entrepreneur.
Joe,
He's
yeah,
fucking
he's a nice
deadly.
fella, yeah.
And do you know a lot about Joe?
Yeah.
He, the people around him, right, are like they're it's a great little business thing he has, but he brings people in that are from similar areas to him
Love
and
that.
helps us out, you know. So like for him, I'd be always grateful to Joe. Gives me the opportunity. And now next year, if I'm not mistaken, I think we've 4 trips for the year.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Unbelievable. So, just for that, for anyone else out there running clubs and doing stuff, you actually get paid. You don't have to get your own money up to go on these 4 trips and bring your club. Are you sponsored?
No. This is separate to the running club.
Right.
This is
Okay.
separate
Just
to the
give me a
running
little,
club.
because you gave me the spiel of how you actually fell into that, and it wasn't that you fell in. You did. You went, and now give us a. So you were starting. You do your running, and then next fall there's people running with you, and then the community need. So
I was up in Cherry Orchard, still living up there, and I was out running, and I knew the buzz I was getting. You know what I mean? Now I remember signing up for my marathon, and I'd done 2008, my first marathon, trained on my own, done it all. But I remember running up the carpet. It's a big blue carpet, I guess, to the finish line.
yeah.
And I remember looking up, thanks to he was my higher power at the time, got me through addiction and all that. And then I remember saying, why the fuck are people not doing more
Remember
of
you
this?
saying that to me? Why is not everyone running?
Look, I couldn't believe that.
Yeah,
It got
it's
me
mad,
from
isn't
being
it?
a fucking like chronic fucking heroin addict to someone that was broken spiritually, mentally and everything, and then to be coming out the other side thing.
I'm feeling this fucking.
And you're really buzzing from the run. Like it's the
hard
run,
to
is it?
explain.
Yeah,
And when you do a
yeah.
marathon, it's another level. It's like, and that's why I run Dublin every year, and I don't run it now for times around. I run it to wait for the people who've done it for the first
Deadly,
time
yeah.
to see their faces.
Love that.
I'm so jealous of what they're getting.
love
And then you're
that.
like, what did I tell you? Did I
Yeah,
tell
what did
you?
I tell you?
Yeah.
Told
Did I
you,
tell
yeah.
you how fucking
And
great
you can
this is?
see it in you, Ken. I
Amazing.
have to say, as a coach, you
Yeah.
can see it in you with your people, with your team. You're so inspiring to them. I know Julie through, I know it's your podcast.
No, it's
sorry.
not. No, it's this is come on. Good question. I think you might Good question.
job.
You're welcome.
So I know Julie through the sister sheds because I run the
Julie
sister
Douglas,
sheds.
she's
I'm
like
the
my little
founder.
sister.
Yeah.
I was very close to her and her family.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah,
very
you are.
close.
So
yeah.
I'm a founder of the charity, the Sister
Deadly.
Sheds. I'm the one. I'm the
CEO,
main girl. CEO over
Sister.
here. We have something on par here.
Good.
But I know Julie really well, and Julie's journey, you know, I follow that, and she speaks so highly of you. You know, I'm not going to say this, Julie, but like you inspire her so much.
Yeah.
How does that feel? Like that, isn't that amazing feeling that?
It's lovely. It's a real warm, it's a beautiful feeling. Do you know what I mean? To know that, and especially like when I know someone's going through a little bit of a bumpy patch. Life is fucking challenging, without a doubt. And I know that having this in your tool bag, and I say it in my videos, having running as a tool to turn to, or whatever you want to call it, having that in your tool bag, it's fucking like it's special. And even now, I only started a new beginners group,
Right.
and when I'm talking, I'm bleeding passionate about it because I know. The stuff I say and the little techniques I use for breathing and the little steps we take to get them to become a runner, it's going to change their life forever. And I can't, and they know it. They know by the way I say it and I present
I can feel it. I can feel it. When you were telling me, and I was
Yeah.
like, wow.
I can. So I like Julie, like anyone else that I help, for me it's about what running done for me. I want to just pass on to other people.
Does it ever become a pressure to you? Because I know what you do voluntary, I guess.
No, I
This
don't.
is where I was trying to get at, though. So we got
sorry.
No,
I'll
no,
reel
you'll be
it back.
sorry. You'll be sorry if it happens again.
Yeah. We'll reel it back real quick, right? So I was running around Cherry Orchard. Any lads I knew that were struggling, come out with me. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. A couple of them would come out running with me. The group of 5, 6, 8 lads, all struggling with problems, whatever it was, whether it's drugs, drink, just fucking family, the whole lot. And a local community group, it's a non-charitable organisation who help families and in the area.
Family-based Catty Talk.
Family-based Catty Talk.
You're a
love
great
Catty.
friend of mine.
Love
Absolutely.
Catty.
Catty, we adore you.
Yes, we do. She's great.
Yeah.
She's great. And so they came to me and they said, we see what you're doing. It's great. And I was just getting, maybe it was bleeding. I was getting a buzz out of my Facebook and all at the time. It was only out. And so I was tagging people and when you got the ball rolling, like, it was like fucking Forrest Gump. There was just more people every week. You know what I mean? And
Kenneth Gump.
Kenneth Gump. Fuck off you. It's a rule on
only Calvin Ken. Forrest Kenneth Gump. Go on.
I'm going to have to think of one.
So they came to me and they said, we see what you do, great work in the area, we can fund a few bob a week for you. They said,
brilliant.
if you want it. And I'm thinking, getting paid for something I do every day.
We're doing it for free anyway.
They wanted to get the kids group going and everything else. So we had about 5 kids, I think, in the park at the 4th session. And it went on for a couple of weeks and then it obviously got bigger and bigger. And then they said, we have to try get something, because I was getting to the stage where I was still getting a few above me runs and whatever, but I was still trying to earn walking and everything else. So in order for the club to progress and for to bump it up, we needed a bit more structure. So we called on the local councillors. They got in touch with one of them out of the Dublin, South Dublin, or County Council. You know what I mean? Got with the man, the head man in there to do with the funding, and invited them up to the family base.
In the area,
Brought me in with all the club members, and fair play to the club members as well. They all gave their stories around what I helped them with, where the running had brought them, and so on. And we walked out there with a paid job nearly, basically.
I wonder, can I ring South Dublin County Council to get paid for assist sessions?
Yeah, well, you never know.
Wouldn't you? And
I'm going to say Coach Ken did.
It's brilliant. Oh, you're giving it the lads.
27 homes, 800 members, you're paying him, you're not paying me.
You'll probably get my wages back.
That's what I'm planning on doing.
You're going to give her
Don't pay
there.
me.
Did you call him Cook Ken? You have no wages.
Sneaky Sherin.
Social welfare care.
Yeah.
But that's brilliant though.
Absolutely.
So now it's, I get 28 hours a week.
It's
Semi-full time, but I do have my own business stuff as well that I have, and part of that is the Spanish trips. So I do online coaching. I have an app there where I get people on, give them their
What's
workouts.
the name of that app?
It's Everfit, but it's just if you contact me through me Coach Ken on Instagram, I can send you all the details of that.
Everfit. Coach Ken.
Yeah, Everfit it's like a platform that all coaches use as well.
Brilliant.
So I have that up and running, and then Joe gets me all his tradesmen. He has a group of them that want to be entrepreneurs, and business owners.
And then that's also you giving them that little insight.
I get about fitness, health, well-being and stuff like that, and do a Zoom once a week, but I give them their workouts. They have a nutritionist Joe has separate to me, so I do the workouts with them, and then 2-3 times a year we go to Spain.
So do you know, when I speak to people like you, and even me, and people like Joe,
thanks for including me with you two fucking legends.
We look at the dark days that were really, really dark for you, and at that time, because I always say I wasn't in addiction, but I had a different kind of traumas going on, but I look back and I say, oh God, that was the worst time in my life. But that time in my life brought me to where I am in my life. So I don't regret. I don't. It's not that I don't regret. I wish it was easy from day one.
I know where you're
but
going.
Yeah, is that now a thing? Do you know what? I had to go through that to be this person. Do you think you'd be who you are today if you didn't go through that?
No, I definitely.
That was a good question.
No, I definitely don't think. I don't think I would be, because for me, the pain and suffering and wanting to get out of the pain and suffering and how I done it was what I wanted to pass on to people in the area. I get some lovely messages, and I remember years ago getting a message off a girl whose husband at the time, they had 2 young kids. You know what I mean? Husband at the time was fucking raising alcoholic and causing all sorts of harm, and you know what I mean, wrecking the gaff, getting nicked and all sorts. She's bringing the kids up to prison and all sorts. And I remember getting a message off her because he's had to giving up the drink. Never hasn't got locked up.
So not only the person themselves is going. You know, there's a wider circle of everyone. When one person has a trauma or an addiction or something that they're going through really bad in their life, it affects everyone. It's just a dominoes,
people.
Isn't
they reckon about 8 people are affected with your one addiction.
Yeah, it's a horrible fucking, isn't it? Yeah.
So for me to get the likes of that was lovely.
Wow.
And I just kept pushing it. And like that, the numbers just kept building and building and building.
Brilliant.
And like,
it's huge.
We've 220 paid, with 220 adult members.
Wow.
We've 100 kids on the books with no fees for any of the kids. We've never charged the kids a penny. And we have a beginners group that only started this week with 20 in it. Yeah. So, and they're all part of the club now.
And for someone in around the Cherry Orchard area, you don't obviously have to be from Cherry Orchard if you want to travel.
No.
What is it to sign up to Cherry Orchard Club? What do they have to do and how much is that?
It works out, at the moment, we do a beginners program. We used to charge €30 for that for 10 weeks. But then a lot of them would drop off, right? The membership for the club used to be 60. So what we done with this group was we said to them, right, €70 in total. You're getting the end of this year and all of next year as a member. So not only are you learning how to run, but you're committed to a year. So a lot of them were leaving, and if they're struggling, if we don't get them to 5k at the 10 weeks, they're in the club. We're not going to just drop them and say, you're there now, you're in. And it worked out better for us and for them. Because what was happening with us was, we were doing it, I remember 70 people turning up to one of my beginners programs.
Wow. Like
the bleeding crowd. Fucking voice box was gone because I'm shouting and all, but I'm passionate about anyone that's starting off running. Because not only is it for me about addiction and about bad times and dark times and coming out of all that, life in itself is hard for people. Do you know what I mean? And to have that as a tool, whether it's a bit of depression, whether it's a teenager that's causing you a lot of shit, you know what I mean? Whether other family members are causing you crap, whatever. I feel that, and I even looked into the science behind it, but I feel it gives you that fucking armour, you know, to get through it. Yeah. And a great study was done on Holocaust survivors, and it was called, I don't know, it was the frontal cortex or something like that part of the brain. It was bigger. It grew. The more suffering they went through, right? It was bigger than the normal period. So they're calling it, they associate it with the will to survive. Wow. So, pushing through the dark times, the hardship. So, with endurance sports, a lot of people that were addicts and traumatized, So, when you get through hard times, you know what I mean? It builds that armour. And that's why I ran so much.
And would you say that's why you get a bigger endorphins? You get
when it's over. You've already ran that fucking run and it's
because you've had such a little low fucking self-esteem, everything else, depression, all that anxiety and all that. And then when you come out the far side and we know, like, and we're going to have other people that's on, and we know that's such a big fucking, I mean, you talk to people all the time like yourself, and it's amazing. But even that, besides the benefits of the healthy part of getting out and running for the health of your body and then the mental health, you're a part of the community.
Oh, that's
the community.
That's special.
That is.
That's
isn't
special,
it? Like gangs together,
yes.
it's a community. You're part of another little group. You're all wearing the same bibs. You're all running together. And I was only talking to a friend of mine, Georgine, and she's like,
part of the club.
And then she's like, and she fucking loves it, and she's so excited. She's like, it's tough, but it's the fucking such an exciting buzz, and it's driven.
And it's a massive achievement, isn't it? Like these marathons, and I know you've done the Ironman. I didn't know much about the Ironman until I asked Jay about what the Ironman actually was. Right. What's that like?
Amazing. I remember the first one we done was Dublin. Unfortunately, Dublin they stopped the people out in Dunleary weren't happy with the traffic and all that. The road closure.
Too many Ironmen out there. I want the travel. We'll move that car.
That's what I think when I think Ironman. What is Ironman?
Basically, an Ironman is 3 different sports in one, right? And in one event. And the half distance is the one I done first. It's a swim. You get into the swim. Then you go onto your bike, drop your gear, get your bike gear on, and it's all in concessions. You're trying to do it in the same time because there's a cut-off point as well. And the first one I done was in Dunleary, and I always remember playing wanting, you know, like that's another level. Yeah. Like because I was doing the runs. I'd done the biggest race in Ireland as well with the running, and but the Ironman was one of those where you see on the telly, and you're thinking that's another level of fitness. So let's have that. We'll try it. got a great group together, and again, the swimming pool and Ballier sponsored us. We got all the gear and all, so we look fucking great. We did, with the sponsor done it. And for us, that was a great another lift, it's inspiring us to go.
Someone else is going and backing you up.
Yeah, and we knew not many people in the area were doing it, so we were thinking this could be another little part of the club. Now, it didn't obviously excel because it's an expensive sport. Yeah, it's 300 quid to enter one of the finals, and then 350 or something like that. But no one has it. Cherry Orchards, you know what I mean? But basically, I done that, and then when we finished it, I always remember my mate Paulie saying to me, "We're not real Ironman." I said, "What you mean?" He says, "Right, listen."
What are you saying?
He goes, because if you noticed at the end of the race, and it was true, he got at the end of it, of a full Ironman, they say, "Kenneth O'Driscoll, you are an Ironman." You have the American geezer on the mic, right? But they don't say it at the half distance ones, right? So this is the marketing, I'd say, as well. They're trying to think, you do a half, let's get them on board for the full. So why don't we do a full? We're not real Ironman, Paulie says. Paulie Carly, give him a shout out.
Fuck you anyways, Paulie.
Why did you say that?
He goes, if I book it, will you? I says, yeah. I come back down. I was the head coach, man. You know what I mean? I was
oh, you do it, why do it? Think about it.
I was setting the bar high in the club all the time. Somebody rings me, sends me a photo shot of his entry. Bollocks, he says. So I had to do it. I wouldn't mind. I sat there, I remember, it was €600 for this one, right? So not only was it playing break in the bank, it was the fucking, the challenge of doing it. So a full one is like, it needs just under 4 kilometre swim, so it's 3.5 kilometre swim. You're talking like about 2 hours.
I don't even know what it is.
So it's 3.5 hour swim, say, average, right? No, what am I saying?
Oh my God.
Oh, sorry, it's 2 hours. Sorry, it's
not. It's only 2 hours.
You get 2 hours to complete the swim.
Fuck.
You have about 6 to 8 to complete the bike, so it's 180k on the bike. Then you're getting off and you have to run a marathon. So it's another
and
level.
That's all in the one.
Yeah, the one day you're starting to bleed 7 in the morning, you're not finished till everyone's bleeding asleep in bed.
So you sleep down for a couple of weeks then? Did you
you could do it.
Fucking not one.
You just die at the end of it.
Yeah, fuck.
But we were down, so we went to Cork for that. Great little crew of us, with 4 or 5 of us doing it down at Cork, and unfortunately that's where the lads died. Don't know if you remember it, 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. The water, the waves were too bad, but they still went ahead with it. Now I'm delighted to say, when I went down, they cancelled the swim because the water was too bad. They got it because there's two sides to it. There's triathlon in Ireland, and who's the other body? Triathlon Ireland and probably Ironman is, I think. Anyway, but there's 2 sides to it, and they have to call the shots between them. So it seemingly on the day the lads died, this is only two or 3 years ago, one says you can go ahead with it if you want. The other said no. And they didn't cancel it. So you want to see the fucking way. I remember being at the start line, suited up, ready to go, and I'm looking out at that sea, and the jet ski fella was having trouble.
Staying up on his jet
ski. And we have to swim for 2 hours out to a buoy and back in. But I remember coming over the mic. Sorry guys, we're just going to let you know the swim is cancelled. So what you have to do then is you have to stay in your pit, it's called, right, where the swimmers are, for the hour and a half until that time comes to get on your bike, because there's already a group of lads waiting to get in the water, so you have to stick to the time. I ended up getting my phone out of my bag because they wouldn't let you near your bike or any of the other gear. I had my phone in the bag, I had it wrapped in plastic, that's what it was, and so when I got out of the water it'd be on my bike. I love to film me getting the footage and all, you know me, Joe. So but I just took the phone out of the bag and sat in the portal out for the hour and a half on Netflix.
What did you watch? Don't tell me you watched Iron Man. We watched Iron Man.
You did.
Sitting there watching Iron Man like that. This fella has a patch on me. Sitting in the portal out.
Tried to motivate myself.
Brilliant.
But I always remember, because the queues were weird, right? There was all queues for the Jacksons, but there was all fellas popping off each queue, so I knew there wasn't anyone going to be standing there going, "What's keep that cunt?" They just knew that it was locked, but I never forget that. And it was clean enough that hardly I wouldn't have stayed in it. So I could tell there onto the bike, gets it done, but it was fucking horrendous. We were like, it was months of training, 20 hours a week training. We were getting up at 4 in the morning, doing 4-hour cycles, and then jogging.
So it's not just how you have to obviously.
Unbelievable.
The only reason I wouldn't do it now, I would if things were going good for me financially, say, and I had a bit more time off work, I'd probably go for it again, because in my eyes I didn't do a full distance. Although
you're the Iron Man, Ken O'Driscoll, you are an Iron Man.
Heard that, telling me different.
So is it just on it? Is any of your friends like, yeah, and I know your mate that you did it with, like, any, like Fitzy or Mike or Dunphy, are they Iron Man or all? No.
Not a fucking
Not
chance.
them. I didn't know. These are the boys that went to Croatia.
I have good boundaries regards me work mates. Me mates, they'll be all me buddies, you know what I mean? Fitzy's like my best mate.
No, I know he is. That's why I wanted to put it out there. And I was thought to say,
it's
human to say it. I go, Fitzy.
I should have wound you up. I should have said, the boys, they're all Iron.
He loved that because his daughter, his mate, Fitzy's daughter was down, Kenneth's Iron Man and you ain't going mad.
And you know what, in fairness, Fitzy came down to Cork with his young ones. And ever since then, the young one rings me up, Kenneth O'Driscoll, you are an Iron Man. She says it all the time. But to get to the finish line, that was fucking hard.
Was it?
Do you want to drink coffee?
No, it was grand. I don't know what happened there. But do you know another thing I want to ask you? I know we're coming to time, so I could ask you a million questions, to be honest, Ken. I really could.
Part 2.
We'll do it again.
But for me, the last one for me is one of my idols, because my brother runs a boxing club. He's been a boxer his whole life. He's just a legend and does what we do. We all work for the community. Katie Taylor, how is that to me, Ho? Because for me, when I was looking at that, that's a dream of mine.
It was fucking deadly. Yeah. It was rapid. And the weirdest thing was I couldn't cancel it. I was only back from the holidays.
Right,
So I couldn't cancel any of the groups. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be taking the piss, to be fair, the coaches that we have. And I'm going to say we're here to shout out to the coaches, the committee and the volunteers. I'm the face of the club. And anyone on the outside looks at me, there's Cherry Archer running, there's Ken. Listen, these boys and girls graft. Like we have 50 kids up there on a Tuesday and Thursday. High energy, a lot of them with issues, and we have six volunteers there.
You need them.
And while I'm doing my beginners, we've all the boys. I'm not going to start naming because I'll forget someone, but they know who I'm talking about. They all do, and from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thanks to them.
Yeah, well done.
To the
community. Of applause for all the staff in the background.
Yeah, because
volunteers.
For them, they're the backbone. Like, I'm only the face. I started. I got it to a certain point where. Yeah, now it's just huge.
But you couldn't have this big entity
of chance without them.
Without Bill and that.
I'm passionate about it. Going back, where were we going with that one?
Just Kate Taylor, what was like to me?
Yeah, so real quickly, I decided I was at the running group, and fair play to one of the coaches again. I said to him, Kate Taylor's in the school, I played one of my idols. And one of the lads in the school had rang me, says, Kenny, it wasn't put out there. It was a private, not private, but it was kept a bit low key. So he said to me, go on, we'll cover them. So we done the warm up, let them all run, and I flew out to the school. Lovely. So I walked in, gets to the school, and as I came in, like, there was a pastor that's her chaperone, right? Pastor Noel, I think his name is. He knew me. So when it was all over, you know what I mean? Like, everyone was going and all, she was there, and there was only a couple of people left to meet her. I was standing there. And when I got up, and he goes, Kenny, you see me in the crowd, Kenny, what's the story?
Lovely.
And he goes, and next of all, when I got up to talk to Kate, I was just chanting, I said, fucking fair play, they do so much for young girls and sport and everything, and thanks for taking the time. And your man Noel nudges and he goes, this is the fella I was telling you about.
Oh, wow.
That started Cherry Orchard running club, and he ran 200 kilometres.
That's brilliant. He was already in our ear telling you.
Yeah, you know, because I think he seen me coming in or whatever, and then he said to her, he goes, he ran fucking 200k, the biggest race in Ireland.
That's brilliant.
And she looked at me, fuck off. Didn't say fuck off. She just said, no way. And then straight away she was, how did you do it? What did you eat? What was it like?
Conversation.
And she's picking me brain about how did you run for that long? And
now, do you have her contact details?
No, unfortunately I don't.
Will you get to follow me?
I don't. It was weird. It was weird. I put the post out, and then 2 days later she shared the post.
And so
it's on her page, and she followed me back.
She's brilliant.
Now, do you know, and like real quick before we close, the fucking spiritual feeling.
She's very spiritual.
Look, I know she's religious, but I say God bless to everyone. Everyone I meet, say God bless. You know what I mean? Have a great day, whatever. I'm always trying to be nice. And I remember saying it, God bless, and she goes, and God bless to you too. Blah, blah,
yeah, she's
and I remember walking out thinking to myself,
you were blessed.
It was a weird feeling, but I always remember thinking the best day getting a bit closer to this geezer. You know what I mean?
Katie's always going to put a word in for me.
Yeah, she's going to put a word in. But no, brilliant. It was lovely to see her, and she spent 3 hours there, 4 hours between the boxing club.
Do you know what? If she's listening, is she on your page? Share this.
Yeah, she's going to
come. I'm not following you.
No, I just want to meet her. We get her to come on.
Follow me. I want to meet her. We need to get her on the podcast.
Joe was like,
It's
"You mean
about
this
the
is a duo
podcast."
here. It's not just about you.
And it was lovely. Our ma as well, lovely girl, lovely woman. She took the video, I think, from me or something. But
Yeah.
I remember saying to her ma, she goes, you know what, she loves it. She goes, she loves giving a bit back. And our
great.
ma's a lovely woman as well.
Yeah.
But it was just, it goes to show you, you know what I mean? She gives back.
Brilliant.
You know what I mean? Although she's not living
And
here
that's
anymore,
what
when
it's
she's
all
here,
about.
That's it all.
she's in them communities.
Yeah, savage. Do you know what? That's
Unbelievable.
about Ken. Before we wrap up, because we're on it, and I'm going to squeeze them. Two things I did, because we missed with Shauna. We missed it. We did want to say, did you bring a joke? I didn't say it to you.
I
So
did.
big cab, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you
I
tell us?
did.
Because we did a segment and we missed it. It was the one time with Shauna Bannon, which I'm going to press
I'm
her for.
probably going to
a
fuck
joke.
this
Listen,
right up. I'll
listen,
tell
this
you
is
who
the
one of my
best bit.
favourite comedians was Billy Conley.
Brilliant.
And
Yes.
one of the jokes was, I'd love to know who discovered milking cows and what he was thinking about when he was doing it. That was one. I'd love to know who discovered milking the cow, and I wonder what he was thinking about when he was doing, or what he was doing when he was doing it.
Jay, this is lovely.
So, what was the other one he said? He said, what did the suicide bomb instructor say to his students?
Go on, what?
I'm going to show you this once and once only.
That's a brilliant
Brilliant.
Oh,
If
God.
someone said that as well, I heard it before, and I go, how did they discover honey? It comes out about bees' arse, like.
Yeah, before we do you want to let you go first?
I'm going to go with you, because you have your
One of my sponsors, K-Fit
Yes.
Meals. It's one of the reasons why I do be in so good shape. I have
show
to say.
show it out to the camera there.
There you go. Get on to it. And do you know what the beautiful thing about it is? Your meals are all done for you. You stop eating junk
Love
food.
that.
And they're all
Brilliant.
sitting there.
I'd love
But
that.
big
I'm
old
gonna look
K-Fit
in-
Meals.
I'm going to look into that.
Same.
I'm going to look into that.
You get a
definitely.
discount when you mention Coach Ken.
Well, we
Yes.
will. We will. I'm going to say Iron Man Coach Ken.
Yeah.
Calvin Ken. Right. The other thing is then, besides the healthy food and also they make it so many fucking amazing meals, is Lamb's Deli is a sponsor by the way, and they're Balliers.
Yeah.
It's a Ballier thing.
Have
And
you
we-
had a lamb's curry?
We did.
Who hasn't?
Listen,
Who
fella.
hasn't? I have.
What's your
I love me
favourite?
food.
Yeah.
But what I do was I try to stick to one day a week. Sundays
Right.
make out day, so
Right.
I'll have the Sunday dinner, curry
Yeah,
at night or
lambs,
whatever.
yeah, lambs.
Lambs.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a rage because the next time we're going to get you back here, we're going to bring you in the evening time, and we're going to get the
lambs.
boys. We're going to get it. We're going to start doing it with lambs, and we get some a meal served up off maybe one of the specials. So,
Yeah.
100%.
Thanks. That's a wrap for episode 9.
Absolutely
I want to give it up
wonderful.
for Coach Ken.
Thank
you for having me.
Amazing.
Amazing.
And
Thanks very
thank
much.
you, Sherin, the co-host.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And of course,
And
thanks
then-
to the legendary.
Yes, we have lambs. Oh, no.
Joe!
Oh, me. We talking about lambs. One last one
Well
on these.
done, well
Lambs, the sponsor. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for sponsoring us. It's been amazing. And then, of course, it couldn't happen without producer over there, Carl.
Brilliant.
Absolutely
Thanks
great
so
boy.
much,
She's
Carl.
great girl. That is a wrap. Thank you very much. Have a good
Brilliant.
day.